All right, what's going on, YouTube? This is BoxingWave, and let's talk Regis Prograis against Josh Taylor this weekend on the Zone. Okay, unification match. All right, World Boxing Super Series final. Okay, the final match. All right, the fight that I wanted to see from the very beginning. I mean, we were talking about this matchup before this tournament even began. Okay, um, I wanted to see these two fights. These both guys are, like I said, they're undefeated. This is one of the few divisions. 140 is one of the few divisions where the best is fighting the best consistently. Just like last week. Last week we got Beterbiev against Bolsdick. All right, we got a unification new lineal champion, new unified champion last week at 175, which is a flooded division. A lot of talent up there. I already broke all that down. I'm still gonna do one more video as far as that fight last weekend. All right, but yeah, man, we finally getting this fight, man. I mean, I love it. I love the fact that it's going down. There was a little hiccup before. Regis Prograis was trying to pull out of the fight because the money wasn't right. We've heard this in the past with the World Boxing Super Series, with Ivan Baranchek and Lou DiBella before had some financial issues, you know, about their money. The money wasn't coming in. Okay, it wasn't really coming in, and I'm glad they fixed everything. Everything seemed to be straightened out, and we're getting the fight. All right, there was a small hiccup. Thought we weren't gonna get the fight, but we are getting the fight. Okay, so I'm happy about that, and let's talk about it. All right, so this is, like I said, this is not gonna be the full breakdown. I've seen all of their last, I don't know, maybe 5, 6 fights. I want to dig a little deeper before I give you, because this is a 50-50 fight. Okay, this is another one that's close, hard to go by. I've seen people go both ways, reading comments. A lot of people going both ways with this fight. Okay, um, so I want to go into a little bit more into their past. I've been watching both fighters roughly around the same time. Okay, Josh Taylor, I started watching him when he was building up to fight O'Hara Davis. Okay, because it was a lot of there's a lot of back and forth on the YouTube and during the media and just off social media and stuff. There was a lot of talking between two camps, and they fought. Josh Taylor basically dominated him, and that was that. But that was the first time I watched Josh Taylor. Okay, and Regis Prograis, the first time I watched him is when he knocked out Joe Diaz Jr. That was the first time I seen him fight ever. So I probably that was probably around the same time back, maybe a little bit more, a couple years or 2.5 years ago, and I've been watching them since. And both of them have been fighting good fighters consistently since then, and they've both been in the tournament as well. All right, so we all know that earlier this year we got a good unification match at 140 as well between Jose Ramirez and Maurice Hooker. Okay, those two unified. One was a DAZN fighter, or one was either a PBC or DAZN fighter, and the other was a top ranked fighter. Okay, so we was able to get that fight. It was a great fight for the time that it lasted. Jose Ramirez is currently the unified champion at 140. But I believe that this fight here is between two of the very best at the tournament, in my opinion. All right, they still have to prove it. They still have to beat Jose Ramirez, and I believe we're gonna have a unified, I'm sorry, an undisputed champion at 140 by next year. I'm pretty sure the winner of this fight is gonna go on to fight Jose Ramirez. All right, but yeah, I mean, this fight here is between the two best. Okay, um, I was able to watch some of the face off with Sky Sports and Johnny Nelson. Okay, they had a face off. I wasn't expecting much. I don't watch them all because some fighters just don't have the personality to sit there and go back and forth. Sometimes I think these face offers, I guess they're good to try to promote the fight, so that's fine. But sometimes the fighters and their personalities don't really mix up for a good face off. Regis Prograis is more of a talker between the two, but he's really a nice guy. You could kind of tell, these guys are very respectful. They respect each other. They've been wanting to fight each other. And this is why I wouldn't focus too much on a fight being delayed, because I don't believe that Regis Prograis was trying to duck Josh Taylor at all. I'm sure there's gonna be people. There's people out there that's been running with that a little bit, because when the news first came out that Prograis pulled out of the fight, a lot of people were saying that Prograis was just trying to duck him and everything like that. I really don't think Prograis is trying to duck him. And I think these guys both really want to fight each other. You know what I'm saying? So the face off was cool. Didn't really get anything out of it. Sometimes they try to force tension between the fighters. There's really none there. You can really tell there's really none. I think after the fight is over, these guys are going to give each other's hugs, and they're really respectful guys. I think the only thing I got out of that is Prograis, even though I knew some of this before, I knew he had a relationship with the Charlo twins. But he said, listen, he said that going to Texas and sparring hundreds of rounds with the Charlo twins, Rigondeaux, sparring with Rigondeaux, sparring with guys like Arislandi Lara, stuff like that really counts, and to be honest, between the two, I would give the resume advantage over to Josh Taylor, because even though he doesn't have as many professional fights, he kind of moved up really, really quick and fought the better fighters out of the two of them. I'm not saying that's Regis Prograis, and it's not by much. It's not by much, because Prograis has fought good fighters too. It's just that Josh Taylor has fought the better fighters between the two, in my opinion. Okay. I think stopping Miguel Vasquez, fighting Ivan Baranchek, who is arguably another fighter that I think would probably beat everybody else that Regis Prograis fought up to this point. And that's not a knock, because Ivan Baranchek is really, really tough. But I think Baranchek is probably either the third or fourth best fighter in 140 right now. You know, even though he lost to Taylor, I still think he's very, very dangerous for anyone. I mean, he's an extremely powerful guy. So I think the fact that who was I talking about? Josh Taylor. The fact that he fought Victor Postal, Ivan Baranchek, Miguel Vasquez, who's always been an annoying fighter to me. His style has always been very awkward. He's given a lot of fighters a lot of trouble. Even recently, I thought O'Hara Davis lost to him pretty clearly, but they didn't give him they didn't give Miguel Vasquez the win. So, with all that being said, I just believe that Josh Taylor has fought the better fighters up to this point. Regis Prograis did fight Carol Relic, which was good. He fought Julius Andango, who was, a recent champion. He lost to Terrence Crawford, and I think that was the last belt of the four that Terrence Crawford picked up. Okay, he stopped Ndongo, but Regis Prograis he stopped him even earlier than Crawford stopped Ndongo, right? And Ndongo was undefeated before Crawford, and he beat Ricky Burns pretty clearly. So, I think Prograis got some good wins as well. Like Relic, Joe Diaz Jr. He also beat Terry Flanagan, which was a good fight. Flanagan was able to go the different distance, but he was dropped in that fight. He was hurt several times. So Regis Prograis has been doing work. Between the two, I think the stating the obvious, Josh Taylor is a taller, longer fighter. Overall, though, I think Josh Taylor is probably the most versatile. All right, he could fight in both stances. He could fight a rangy fight. He could fight in the inside. All right, he goes to the body extremely well. He could fight a very rough physical fight. I guess I've seen him do it all at this point. I think with Prograis, though, he's a lot different. He's more of a slick fighter. Knows how to maintain space and use fight a rangy fight. I like his head movement. I like his reflexes. I think his straight left is like one of the best in the business. I mean, it's very, very sharp. He's very, very accurate. I've seen him go to the body, especially from the outside, from the inside. I've seen him go to the body here and there, but it's usually just the setup to go back up top. not as much as a Josh Taylor. I've seen Josh Taylor destroy, like totally destroy certain fighters by going to the body. All right, so I definitely gonna give Josh Taylor that advantage. Also, it's just that Regis Prograis is a very, very powerful puncher as well. He stops the majority of his guy with one punch. You know, he drops a lot of guys with one punch, whereas Josh Taylor usually beats up his opponents to stop them. Regis Prograis is very, very sharp with that straight left hand, whether it's to the body, up top. He moves very well as well. And like I said, I like his head movement. I like his reflexes a little better. I think I think he's a very technical fighter. Things that I could complain, I would say with Regis Prograis, I think when he does have his opponent hurt, I think he leaves himself open a lot. You know, kind of reminds me of Daniel Jacobs when he hurt Sergio Mora. Remember in that first fight when he got dropped, Daniel Jacobs tried to rush and get him out of there, and he got caught with a shot and got hurt himself. He was actually hurt more than Sergio Mora was in that first fight, and that's why they had a rematch. All right. I see a lot of that with Regis Prograis. I feel like whenever he hurts his opponent, he kind of chases them down. Sometime running at fighters like Carol Relic, when he landed that body shot, he actually ran at him and left himself completely open. Sometimes he's just coming in with his head totally sticking out. I know he has good head movement, and I know he has quick reflexes. He's able to move his head well. But at times, all right, when he's actually winning the fight and he's going for the kill, he leaves himself open. If he does that with Josh Taylor, he could possibly get hurt. Josh Taylor, on the other hand, I really don't have like too much to say as far as like flaws. What I will say is that with Josh Taylor though, um, he's fought fights where he struggled a little bit in. He struggled a little bit against Baranchek and Victor Postal. Though Postal was winning early on, I like the way Josh Taylor switched the style up and started like fighting a more physical fight. So I think even though I think he's more versatile, I think there's parts of me that still think Pro grade might be just more skilled at what he does. Okay, he's more limited though. He's not as versatile, but I think he's very, very great at what he does. Whereas Josh Taylor could kind of do pretty much everything. You know what I'm saying? Uh, it's like comparing like a Kobe Bryant to LeBron James. If you guys are basketball fans, whereas LeBron, I feel like LeBron can do everything on the court, but Kobe is a master at exactly what he does. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like this fight goes like that. It's such a 50-50 fight. I'm still, and I've always been leaning a little bit towards Regis Prograis because I think he's just so dominant against everybody he's faced. I haven't really seen much. I can see how. I don't want to say it go as far as think that he can't lose because I think he could definitely lose this fight, but I haven't really seen any major flaws. I can see him maybe possibly outscoring Josh Taylor and hurting him as well. But I can also see the same with Josh Taylor doing it from him. It's just that with Josh Taylor, I've seen him being outboxed a little bit by Victor Postal. I've seen him rocked by Baranchek. He got hit a lot against Baranchek, honestly. But they didn't fight the same fighters, so that's not fair. I also believe that Josh Taylor did fight the better of the two. All right, so I don't want to just base it strictly on that. It's 50-50, and I'm not really sure. I kind of want to go back into Regis Prograis' past a little bit and see if I can find older fights where I can see some more flaws. But it's hard to tell because he's so dominant in his fights. It's hard to really tell how Josh Taylor could beat him. Um, with that left hand. That left hand is the best punch between the two of the fighters. But Josh Taylor has proven and shown that he can make adjustments mid-fight. He's done that in several fights. I see him switch his style throughout the fight. And with Regis, I can't really say I've seen him do that before. Regis just does what he does best, and it's worked for him every single time. The thing is, when it doesn't work for you, what do you do? And that's what I'm not really sure. I do want to come back and make another video giving a full breakdown with a prediction how the fight is going to go, because I still think there's a lot more mystery to Regis Prograis, because I haven't really seen him struggle at all or have had to make any kind of adjustments. He's just like dominated everybody he's faced. So anyway, I wanted to do a video, and I wanted to do multiple videos this week because I just think that it's only right. You know, these guys are really fighting the best fighters, and we focus so much attention on fights that's not even being made. You know, like the heavyweight division or the welterweight divisions, you know, or even the middleweight division, fights that should go down that don't go down. We focus, we do so many videos, and it gets us a lot of views and stuff like that. True. But when there's a fight like this, where it's kind of like the littler guys who, you know, this is more like you know, a diehard boxing fan matchup right here, just like last week. We got to do more videos on this, and I got to do a better job. And I think most of the major channels have to do a better job talking about fights like this. So I'm going to do more videos this week about it. I'm going to do a breakdown, probably do a weigh-in video, whatever comes up. And, you know, like I normally do, you know, breakdown, final thoughts, whatever. Respond to some of your comments if I have to. But this is a big fight, and we need to focus more on this and other fights like this in the future. All right, so let me know who you guys got in the comments. I'm, like I said, it's 50-50, but I'm leaning a little bit towards Regis Prograis. Have changed my opinion midweek leading up to a fight, but for right now, I'm kind of leaning towards Regis Prograis. All right. So let me know what you guys think. Drop your comments, and make sure you subscribe. And thank you for anyone that's been donating to the channel. I really appreciate you guys. I always respond to you guys whenever you donate, but thank you for donating to the channel. So dislike, subscribe, support the channel, and I'll see you again. Got more videos on the way. Peace.